Absolutely. My name is Sam Bell, and I am a candidate for the upper chamber of this legislature.
So says you.
Indeed. And I'm here to speak in favor of the Reproductive Healthcare Act and against the other bills. I've testified before this committee on this subject many times before, but I want to talk about something I never talked about before. When my grandmother had already had 3 children, one of whom had passed away very early on after being born, she got pregnant again. And it was before Roe v. Wade, and they were actually living in Switzerland at the time where abortion was not legal. And she was able to fly to another country and have a safe and legal procedure. And, you know, I think earlier on in the testimony, one of the very first speakers talked about abortion as something that happens in broken families, as something that's associated with social ills. And I think it's important to understand that this happens in so many families, and it's a part of a lot of our families, and something that's happened to many people we know. And I think it's one of the things that I was really troubled by during a lot of the testimonies, some of the rhetoric that was used. I remember some of the comments made about my rabbi, and which I was somewhat surprised by. And I imagine what it must feel like to be a woman who's had to terminate a pregnancy and to sit here listening to a lot of the things that have been said. And I think it's really important that we pass the Reproductive Healthcare Act, not just to protect reproductive health care, but also to send a message of compassion for women who've been in such a difficult situation, and to show and to really to stand up against the shaming and the hate, and show real support. And I think that's very important, that when we pass laws, it's not just about the effects that they have in terms of procedures and things like that, but it is also about the emotional effects that they have on people. And I think in this law in particular, it's something that we need to take very, very seriously. I think a good analogy is marriage equality. I remember before we passed marriage equality, there was a lot of discrimination, and as a bisexual, I certainly noticed it. But after we passed marriage equality, discrimination against LGBT people really went down. And passing a law like this could have a really important effect, and I think on how we look at abortion more broadly, and I think that that's something to think about. It's also about compassion for people who've been in a really difficult situation in their lives. Thank you so much.